Hi everyone, welcome back to this week's video. I have a very interesting sketchbook session for you today. It may not look like it. This may seem like a very chill sketchbook session, but this was kind of an emotional roller coaster for me. But I'm quite happy with this page, and I'd like to share with you what went into it. So I hope you'll grab your sketchbooks and your paints and have a little sketchbook session with me. One of my goals for my art for this year has been to use my sketchbook more intentionally. For the most part, I have been trying to sit down with it every day, or at least as much as I can. Implementing this practice has allowed me to really try new things in my sketchbook, but not in the conventional way that you would think. These aren't big changes, big projects, bigger things that I've never tried in my life. Rather, I'm trying to explore tiny changes in my art making process that keep it feeling fresh. And I think that is honestly just as important as trying those big new things with your art. So over the past few weeks, it's been tiny, subtle things that I've been trying that I've just seen that enhanced the way that I see my sketchbook practice. And it keeps me exploring out of my comfort zone, and since it's not big and heavy changes, it's not something that is taxing for me, and it's not some kind of pressure. And I've found that there's just something about making these little changes and seeing the gradual growth and learning. There's just something very special about that. For this page, I've been using my gouache for the past week. I think it's pretty much the only art supply I have been using. I hadn't touched them in months. I had been a solely oil paints girl, so it felt really good getting these out. And as soon as I got them out, I noticed this neon pink paint. I haven't really used it much. I'm more of a soft, pastel, warm colors kind of person. Not very inclined towards neon things. Even if I did have to use pink, I just make it out of some red. But I don't know, because of the mindset that I've been in lately because of my sketchbook, seeing this, something in me just said, let's give it a try. And I'm glad that I did. Usually for my paintings, I start with an underpainting, and I've been getting a lot more comfortable with my brush strokes and my brushwork. So I will generally skip out on making sketches with a pencil or a color pencil, and I will just go in with my brush. Usually I will do this with a burnt sienna or a burnt umber, but I had this weird excitement about trying this neon pink for the underpainting. I had this vision in my head of what the painting would look like, where I would leave some parts of the underpainting still showing through the layers on top of all of the colors. And I really love the idea of this color to be showing through, being separate from the already existing color palette that I had. I know it may sound like such a silly thing, or even very, very simple, and I don't know, it might not actually sound as exciting, but in my head, it was really something very fun for me to think about. Now, I had already made another painting with this pink underpainting thing, and I did have a lot of excitement about being able to recreate the feeling that the other painting gave me. But when I started the actual painting part of this one, I was really doubting myself. I had never painted tulips before, and I was looking at a bunch of references. I haven't really seen tulips in real life, so I was definitely having some doubts, and at a certain point I was getting just so worried about the end result of this painting, whether it would turn out well or even look like tulips, or whether my trying new things would be fruitful or not. I had to stop and take a step back and just recalculate. The feelings that were coming up during the middle of this painting were not the feelings that I had intended for this painting session, so I took a little tea break, stepped away from the painting for a bit, and came back to it with the mindset that I am just going to enjoy the process of this painting. I am going to be present with the brushstrokes that I am putting down, the marks that I am making on the paper, the colors that I am using, and fascinate over the neon pink, and trust that the process will take me where I want to go, and just not worry about the end result. And let me tell you, all the worries that I had packed into just a few minutes with painting, they just went away, and I was able to bring back the intentionality with my sketchbook and actually enjoy all the tiny changes that this little painting brought for me. And it was because of the changes that I decided to put into this painting that I ended up liking it so much. So I guess my message to you, or the learning from this 90-minute painting session, is tiny changes can be just as valuable as the big monumental ones. So you have to trust the process. Believe that the journey that you are taking during the painting is going to be just as valuable as the painting itself.